You are looking live at the Matt Mosley Show, and welcome in. And man, normally we kind of stretch our legs and we spend a lot of time teasing this and getting people excited about his presence, but he's already here. He's been in the green room. We had a lot of great snacks in there for him, including some Buc-ee's, sours, and other things, throat lozenges, so he can really get after those reps as the Bears prepare for the Buffs to enter the Foster Pavilion. It is time to bring Scott Drew onto the Mosley Show, and there he is. Scott, great to have you early in the proceedings here today. Welcome and congratulations on a victory. Bears. Hopefully, maybe you'll put a little win streak together here.
Man, that would be nice. As you said, good win over West Virginia, who actually had the longest win streak in the Big 12 at 16 games, 13-0 at home. We could have used that jacket that you're wearing right now because it was cold there. It was even worse in Cincinnati at the hotel we were at. The boiler went out. So I think we had frostbite on our hands come game time.
I'm confused by the name of that place. Is it like the Fifth and Third? Is it where it's located? Is that why, or is that like a bank?
The bank. It's a bank.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The Fifth Third Arena, whatever that is. Okay. Out of those two places, what y'all have had a tremendous, actually you've won at both places, but you hadn't had as much experience at Cincinnati. You've got a kind of a crazy streak against West Virginia now. They haven't beaten y'all in maybe 8 straight times or something crazy like that. And even when they were working on Bridges a few years ago, that was a rough crowd he encountered there. Y'all pulled that game out. What is of those two, what's the toughest environment, would you say?
Well, I think West Virginia, I remember the first time we were ranked number 1. I think it was 2017 or 2018, and going down to that game, that was pretty ruckus. And I think their half-off beer specials probably lead to some of that before the games. But those fans can get after you a little bit. And they used to have a student newspaper that was. They would find information on our guys that they're like, how did they figure that out? I haven't dated her in 3 years or whatever. So, they would have some good inside stuff.
Doing their research. I think the Baylor fans, at least for a while, I don't know if they still do that, but like when the other team was being announced, they would hold up a newspaper or something like that. And that, Scott, with what's happened to newspapers in this country, that's a good thing. You've got a college-age daughter. That she did not grow up reading newspapers. Although, I don't know, maybe because of you grew up like I did. That was how it is interesting, though, because even me, having been in the newspaper business, I get it all online still. I still subscribe to the Waco Trib and the morning news, but I do it online.
It's amazing how things change over time, as you know, from landlines to telephone booths to. I remember when my first year coaching at Valparaiso University in 93, 94, the biggest job I had was make sure on our 8-hour bus trips we had the right motivational movies. So you had to be at Blockbuster or Box Office Video when the new releases just came out and made sure you got them checked out. And it's amazing you mentioned VHS, and none of our guys would have any clue what that means, or a VCR tape.
When y'all head out to Ames or whatever on the chartered flight, do you have a team movie, or is it now just everybody's doing their own thing? Do you ever, I know on a bus ride, if you had to go to Austin back in the day or Fort Worth or wherever, you would actually put a movie on in the bus. Now on the plane, you don't really have that option, do you? Everybody's just kind of on their own stuff.
Everybody's on their own, and everyone's got their own stuff on their phone.
What was your go-to? What was like the best? I would guess you liked Hoosiers because that's the land where you came from. Remember the Titans, I would think, would be
100%.
in your rotation.
Yep.
Anything else?
Oh,
Any
so
other
many.
like action film or anything that would you felt like would get the guys going a little bit?
No, well, I think what gets me going might not get them going. I mean, there's been so many good baseball movies, to Miracle in hockey, to we were watching a Hustle on one of the bus trips this year. We were watching, remember the Titans on one of them. But that's the great thing about sports movies. You can find a ton of great ones that are really motivational. And remember the Titans probably at the top.
Yeah.
Rocky. Now it's Creed for everybody, but the Rockies back in the day were pretty nice.
All right, and we all can quote all the Hoosiers lines, and I used to study at Baylor. I used to have to take Old Testament and New Testament, and one of my best finals ever, didn't have a lot of great scores, but was in New Testament, and my buddy and I had stayed up all night and we played the soundtrack to Hoosiers as we studied, and it really had a positive impact in Naaman Keithley's New Testament class. Now, where you went at Butler, I don't think they were making you take a lot of religious classes.
No, but I tell you what, Hoosiers, I remember Coach Mills, now is at Wichita State. He had that whole movie memorized. Like, we didn't even have to, we just say, all right, go ahead. He could have recited the whole thing.
And he would go into a place and go, fellas, the baskets are the same as they are back at our gym in Hickory. And he could pull off some of that stuff when y'all would go into certain gyms, I'm sure. Okay. How much of an emphasis, Scott, was y'all got off to a fast start?
Yep.
And you have had games where you kind of singe the nets early, then you go cold. You've had at least one game, the Oklahoma State game, where you shot it well the whole game. Though, it's going to ebb and flow a little bit. But I've seen you in the past do interesting things like to try to get better starts. Like you've actually started warm-ups earlier. You've really put a ton of thought into this over the years. Was that a big point of emphasis going into this game? Like, hey, let's throw the first punch kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, every game you try different motivation tactics. You if there's a trend like we haven't started well, is it change our warm-ups, get them out earlier, get them out later? Is it focusing more on the defense early? Is it focusing more on the offense? I mean, if something's not working, I can promise you we're not going to keep doing the same thing. But I thought what was really important in the West Virginia game was defensively, we were really good in that first media timeout. And usually if you have a good defensive possession, you can throw in a little transition offense, which makes things easier. Oklahoma State, same thing. We got off to a great start, but both games you made shots, both games you got stops, both games you got into some transition, and that helped with things.
All right, and it seemed like the defense, even the defensive rebounding, Cam Carr ends up with 12 rebounds in that game, and I think that was really big for you. It seemed like you stayed in man-to-man maybe the entire game, even more than, the whole game. What was your thought process on, hey, let's just stick with this? And I think in the past, you've kind of let your guys, like what they're best at, dictate in some ways. And I remember one of those great teams you had, Jared or somebody, was like coming up to you, I want to, please let us play man-to-man. Or, there was a little bit of that going on. What was the game plan? Because it just seemed like they really struggled. And when that kid started to get hot, Eagle Staff, I believe is his name, it wasn't like the kid from Tech who just, is like, oh my God, will this ever end? Kind of got that put away and put out that fire. What kind of went into the game plan and what led to you guys seemingly executing it? Because they went long stretches without scoring.
Well, I think first our offense dictates our defense at times. And if you come down and take a quick bad shot, that puts them in transition. You come down, have a live ball turnover, that puts them in transition. You put a team in transition, you're probably giving up buckets. So our offense had turnovers, but we didn't have as many live ball turnovers, and we were able to set our defense on the live ball turnovers we had for the most part. So if you get a half court defense, that gives you a chance to begin with. Second of all, every game plan you go into, and I mean, I know you're a big football guy. If they're going to put 8 in the box, probably the passing game's open more, and if they're passing all the time, you might adjust and go with more DBs and rush 3. But with basketball, we looked at West Virginia and we thought, our best chance to win is playing man. Against Cincinnati, we thought our best chance was zone. And that's why we played more zone in that game. Some games we go in and it's 50-50 and you see what happens. Some of it's led by your personnel. If you get down to where you don't have a big bench because someone's injured, someone's sick, someone's out, foul trouble, that might lead to what you're doing defensively as well. So I can tell you, I'm for whatever defense gives us the best chance to win. And again, all that goes into if you got 6 healthy in your rotation, you might zone more. If you got 8 healthy, you might man more. If the team shoots a bunch of threes, what's the best way to take away the 3? Sometimes it's in zone, sometimes it's in man. Like Tech, we started out zoning, and that didn't work. We went to man, that didn't work. Like there was no defense working against them that night. Probably 10% of the game we were in zone and 90 in man. So I think we all agree on one thing, though. If you can start out well, it's harder for shooters that miss the first couple to get on track than it is to shooters that make the first couple. And I mean, just same thing with a quarterback. He throws a couple completions. Now it's easier to throw the long ball or whatever else. And with basketball, if we can have shooters, scorers get out first couple tough, doesn't mean they're not going to get them off. But if you don't give them easy ones, hopefully they don't get in a rhythm and a groove. And we were able to do that against West Virginia. And every game we go into, I mean, that you come up with a game plan. You know what? If we execute, we think this can work. And then what happens is now you got to go to plan B and C when the A doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing about going through a really rough stretch is the wins are even sweeter. I mean, I would think if anything, Scott, like this season, and hopefully it's just a glitch or it's just a one, aberration. But I think it's going to make you appreciate the wins even more. And like they got a taste of that the other night. And I even saw in some of the cinematic post-game kind of stuff, Obi or somebody in one of those huddles was like, we're better than our record shows. Now I'm kind of like, the old Parcells, you are what you are. You are what your record is, but that's okay for players to have that belief that, hey, we feel like we're better than 1-7, and that's okay. But again, you got to go out and show it, and you did against West Virginia. And now the thing is, trying to build on that. Obi is an interesting guy. We sometimes focus on what he can't do, which he's not ever going to outquick somebody, and he's not like a great like penetrating guy, although he does it from time to time. Mm-hmm. What you were hoping he was a big time shot maker, and at least in that game, and in other games too. But when they were making a run, when things were happening, like in a game like that, where suddenly nobody's scoring for a while in the second half, a shot feels like 10 points, right? It's like, oh my gosh, we're back up by 7, or we're back up by whatever it was. Even though he struggled this year at times, he's a willing shooter, isn't he? I mean, like what? I just kind of wanted to ask you about his makeup, because these guys hopefully they don't read everything, but they probably do hear some of it. This guy's not performing, that guy's not performing. Obi stepped up for you big in that one.
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, as a coach, what we try to do is we try to control what we can control. When the shot goes up, some of them are going in, some of them aren't. You look at the best shooters in the NBA, probably if someone shoots 40% or above from 3, they're considered a good shooter. That means they're missing 6 out of 10. Look in baseball, I mean, if you hit over 300, that means 7 times out of 10 you're not getting on base. With us, what can we concentrate after we miss the shot? Our offensive rebounding would be the next thing. So with Obi, he is someone that is a really good shooter, and if he gets good looks, he's going to make a good percentage. With that, even if he's the best shooter in the world, he's going to miss 5 out of 10. So what are we doing on the miss to give us the best chance to get that rebound and go from there? I think coaching wise too, the hardest thing about flipping a roster is you want to put your guys in the best positions to be successful. Sometimes you don't know what that is until you see where they succeed and where they fail. And what you think might work doesn't work, and what you think wouldn't work does work. And through process of elimination and then also improvement in certain areas, I think Obi's gotten a lot better coming off screens and getting himself open. I think we've done a better job setting screens for him. I think our passing has been better on our reads to on time, on target. So there's a lot that goes into getting guys the ball where they need it, when they need it, how they need it, and where they're most comfortable. I think we found out other things about, Tunde and Mikey have done a pretty good job in the post. They've shown that they can not only score down there, but they can pass out of it. And so as we found out guys' different strengths and things that translate and work, it allows us to hopefully put them in more positions to be successful. So my point in saying all of that is it's kind of like the first time you ever do a podcast or have your own show. There's certain things that'll work better than you thought, certain things that don't work as well as you thought. The only way you know it is that experience. And then the next year you're better at it because you have more experience to start out with. And that's been one of the challenges this year is guys playing in the Big 12, playing for the first time with Baylor, and us figuring each other out and trying to put each other in the best positions to be successful. And again, it goes back to the dream teams had more talent than anyone in the world, but yet weren't able to be successful. So if talent is similar, chemistry and stability and experience really matter. Now, if talent is so great that it doesn't matter, then that's great. But in college basketball, you don't have a ton of that just elite talent. You have a lot of good talent and people that, and that's why I think, again, you look at most of the teams that have been successful in the Big 12 this year, there's some kind of experience coming back. So just stating, we're figuring out our guys, they're figuring out us, we're figuring out the Big 12. Hopefully we finish a lot better than we started.
Does a guy like Caden, like who has kind of helped you keep everybody? You got to have, when things are going rough, it's easy for a team to kind of turn on each other. You got 2 NBA possible big time prospects. I mean, you could, people could start kind of, you'll be in the NBA next season. I mean, it would be easy to let this thing kind of landslide against you. Who's done a good job on your roster? And I know the coaches have had to do a lot of this as well, but in trying to keep folks' spirits up, because the truth is, you're huge on culture, but none of these guys, they had to kind of learn the Baylor culture in the middle of it, right? It was probably nice to go overseas and all of that. But again, it's not like guys have a huge frame of reference. This is how Baylor does it. And most of these guys have probably not been through major losing streaks and kind of things like that. Who's done a good job for you, like leadership wise, making sure guys don't start to turn on each other?
Well, I think the one thing that I'd be most proud of with this team is I don't think we missed on character. And the guys have been who we thought they were as far as representing the school off the court in a way that can make all Baylor University proud. We call it preparing champions for life. So, I mean, spiritually, we've had 6 people in our program baptized. Academically, we've had higher GPA, one of the highest we've had in 23 years. involved as far as with the campus. I think our guys are respected, appreciated, liked on campus. And the Baylor built, they've done a good job with that program and just their involvement with the different people they interact with in the community and at the college. So first and foremost, that has been what we thought. Individually, we got a lot of different guys that have all poured in at different times. I mean, the one that Caden Powell is someone from Waco, loves Baylor through and through, and he's a great teammate. He's a selfless teammate. He's been outstanding. JJ hadn't played most of the year. But he's got one of those infectious energy giver personalities. People respect his work ethic during this recovery, but prior to his injury as well, just how hard he worked. And he loves Baylor. He's done a phenomenal job. But I can also go around and everybody at different times has poured in. And you mentioned Cam and Tunde. I mean, Cam has come a long way maturity-wise. Not saying he was immature, just he's so much more vocal on the court, so much more committed to trying to make sure everybody's on the same page, doing the right things. As far as winning plays, like you mentioned, 12 rebounds, just embracing all facets of the game. We're coming out of high school. He was a dynamic scorer and a great athlete, but he's continued to improve and grow and mature. Tunde's a freshman, but yet I don't know if anyone loves winning as much as Tunde either. I mean, he was extremely excited after the win, and I mean, Cam's throwing up and could have gone in the locker room, said, I ain't coming back. But he's like, no, he threw up and I'm back on the court playing. Like, so my point is, again, I can go through every name on the list, so I don't want to cheat anybody, but the team has been who we thought they were character-wise. And as far as playing-wise, I think it's been eye-opening to all of us just how hard it is if you flip your entire roster. And again, even like we play at West Virginia, and Ross done an amazing job, but two of the starters he'd coached, had been with him, knew what he wanted. So they were like, it's really hard to have nobody.
Yeah. Well, Ross has been with Grant, and he's familiar with like a 7-minute. You remember Grant used to have that philosophy at UNT where it was like, okay, the next score wins, and that would be with like 10 minutes left in the game. And that was a good line from the announcer the other day, that Mark Adams, when y'all hit a bucket, it'd been a long stretch in the second half, and he said, this is the best 2-0 run in the history of college basketball.
But you know what? It was great that we kept competing when we didn't make shots. And there's a lot of teams, and there's times this year when our offense missing shots, not just from a transition defensive standpoint, but from just the mental makeup, like you get dejected and now you're not that next play mentality. And the fact that we were able to get as many stops, I think we had 9 in a row at one time.
Yeah. Okay. Lastly, Colorado coming in, huge game for both of these teams. You desperately kind of need to build on that win. Colorado coming off a great win after they'd been on a losing streak. I think the teams are kind of in similar shape right now in terms of they're just trying to, and Tad seemed like he found something from his team. I was reading some of his comments, and he's like, this is what we were trying to be like the whole season. So I'm sure you've taken a long look at Saturday's game against TCU. What are you seeing from Colorado? What do you have to really focus in on tomorrow?
Well, I mean, Colorado got off to a great start in the non-conference. A lot of momentum, a lot of success, a lot of good wins. And then, as you know, the Big 12 is a grind. But with that being said, I mean, they almost beat Kansas at home. Texas Tech, they had a 3 to beat Texas Tech. We know how good Grant and Texas Tech are. We lost TCU twice. They beat TCU by close to 30. So, I mean, they got our full attention. We know what they're capable of. And like you said, both of us got a win. Both of us had come off a losing streak. Neither of us want to go back to a losing streak. So I think that it'll be a great game. Excited to see what we can do. Hopefully we'll have, I call our fans the 6th, 7th, 8th man. We need them all here at the game cheering us on. So you got to win your home games, and we've got 2 road wins at Oklahoma State, West Virginia. Now we got to start winning at home.
All right. Well, my Aggie, she is going to drive up for the BYU game, and she really wanted to come see, her buddy Drew Perry and root on her Bears. So just know that while Buckyball is doing well down there in Aggie land, and she has attended a couple of those games, her heart is still with the Bears. And she texted me the other day, and she said that she had worn a Baylor sweatshirt across campus. And she said something like, "I feel like an op." I don't totally know what that means, but yeah.
I don't either, but that's cool. She did that. She was definitely the best dressed on College Station that day.
So anyway, she's still trying to represent. Yeah.
And Drew Perry's done a great job with the guys in the team. So it's been a joy having him a part of the program.
Yeah. All right. Well, great to visit with you. And that was it'll be fun. And you got huge games coming up. So thank you for the time. And I had all sorts of thoughts while you were talking about Toon Day there, because I was thinking of him in context of the Darren Peterson thing. I'm sure you watched that last night, and that was that. I mean, the truth is, all those guys have. We've always had incredible freshmen, Scott, but it's just like every once in a while, like a weekend ago, not this past one, but the weekend before, it was like 3 freshmen went off for like 40 points or something. So it's just, as in this portal world that we live in, where, okay, yes, you got to get the portal and you got to solve your team a lot of ways. You can't give up on this one and done thing, can you? I mean, it's like, I know people have wanted you to in some ways, but yet I don't think you can, because like these great teams have these incredible freshmen, don't they?
And that's what's great about sports is there's a lot of different ways to win, and what fits you and what's best for you. And I think the biggest thing is you look at our one and dones. We've had some great young men. They love Baylor. They do a great job representing us in the NBA, and they did a great job helping us here. And I think the whole key is to have a combination. And what I mean by that is in the NBA, probably most teams aren't winning the NBA championship with all rookies, but probably a lot of the playoff teams do have a younger player or two a part of that. I mean, look at the Thunder's age last year, and just their youthful energy and excitement. So I think a healthy combination is great, where you don't rely too much on anything, but at the same time, you don't rule something out and say, well, you can't do this with this. I mean, and there's some great freshmen this year for sure.
Yeah. And that's exciting to the fans, by the way, all this news of like y'all being in on this 5-star and this 7-foot center. And Scott just kind of let us know in a sly manner, like if there's a certain game coming up where you need a lot of people to bring Serbian flags or something, just kind of, let me know. All right.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds great, Matt.
Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you. I appreciate it. Great to visit with you.
Thanks, Matt.
Right. You bet. There he goes. Scott Drew, the Baylor head basketball coach. Always fun to visit with him. And I was checking Kev to make sure I wasn't being told I needed to, because we talk to him every other week. I used to talk to him every week, and I love doing that. But when I get him on, there's so much ground to cover. And Kevin, we've got major breaking news on Bob Kraft. We got Patriots. We got all this NFL stuff. We got Baylor. I mean, I kind of want to hit some of this Baylor recruiting news that I kind of hinted. He can't talk about those players that Baylor's recruiting, but I think he didn't mind me bringing up somebody they have their eye on.
A fellow Hoosier should know better than to bring up the Thunder after that year, last year. Come on.
Oh, against the Pacers. Yeah, I don't know. The poor Pacers without their point guard and trading away one of their bigs. They have, but they'll
No.
Yeah,
trading away Miles Turner was what needed to happen. Was the best thing. Have you seen Miles Turner's numbers since he's left?
Yeah, but what did they get for him? Did they get how many picks did they get, or what did they get for him?
He was just a free agent.
Free agent. He left the free agency. That's right.
Yeah.
By the way, Mavericks.
Pacers weren't going to spend $100 million on him for 3 years. Kidding me?
Yeah.
Not when he's averaging less than 10 points a game.
I love that. My buddies keep saying, "Let Anthony Davis let his value go up," and I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, if you play him 2 or 3 games, he's going to get hurt. Like, how do you get Anthony Davis's value up? It doesn't make any sense to me. But you know what? That's the NBA, and people somehow will bank their futures on a guy like Porzingis, who has a history of getting hurt all the time. And even the Mavericks will do this from time to time. We've got the greatest training program in the world. We can take a Porzingis or an Anthony Davis, and we can be the team that gets them out there all the time. No, you know who I miss? I miss the guy who, right now is scoring 34 a game. And he liked to have a beer occasionally. He wasn't the thinnest guy in the world. Well, I don't know. I kind of like a 7-time All-Star who is one of the greatest players of his generation. But I digress. All right, Kev, let's do some Campus Confidential. Let's do that next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGoAAALusa.com and elevate your training today.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
All right. Kev, I don't know. What was that last little ad we had there? I may have to check that out a little bit. Available at Walmart. I'm headed over to Walmart.
Designed for you. Yes. Like we reiterate that there.
I like cake. I mean, as much as the next guy, but that's a different.
It's a different thing, isn't it?
Different deal. That reminds me of a story. We were at the beach, and my children, my daughter and her cousins were much younger, and that song, Kevin, had come out, "Cake by the Ocean," and it was an extremely popular summer song, and the kids loved it. And I can't even, honestly, I'm going to sound kind of naive here. I didn't even think about like what that meant really or anything like that. I just thought it was kind of a catchy tune. And so the kids were very excited about being at the beach, and we were going to go by the place and get, several slices of cake and play the song and have Cake by the Ocean. And it just seemed like a fun thing to do. And my brother-in-law, who I love, it is a great friend of mine, really even before he became my brother-in-law, decided to kind of, the Baptist deacon in him, it was too much. And he informed everybody that song, the lyrics were not nice. And so he poured cold water on that idea. And so Cake by the Ocean was not to mention not had by the youngsters.
The practicality of actually having cake in the sand. You're going to get sand in that cake.
Yeah, but you got buddy, this is like, okay, we're not really like, this is with all the nice beach chairs at Seaside, Florida on the white sand. It's not a situation where the cake is not going to mix too much with the sand. You would have been okay in that deal.
I've lived in Florida, so I know how that
sounds like. You would have been siding with my brother-in-law.
I just know the chances of not getting sand on everything when you go to the beach is pretty slim. Pretty slim.
Did you kind of like inherently, when you first heard that song, did you immediately know like, oh, that's about that? Or did you just think, oh, this is kind of a fun song?
No, I didn't. And it's especially when you realize that that's actually from one of the Jonas Brothers. After they split, they had several different solo things, and that was headed up by Joe Jonas, DNCE. And so it was from a Jonas brother, which you would think would kind of be a little squeaky.
DNCE, what does that mean?
That's the name of the band that did the song.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That's news. That's news to me. Okay, Kev, and thank you to all our sponsors, boy, C&B, Central National Bank. Kev, I cannot wait, man. I know we're in the process. We're going to roll out all our new ads with them. They've been incredible. C&B, our presenting sponsor. I love it, Kev, when it's down there at the bottom. I don't know if you could somehow, I think when you put up the Campus Confidential, maybe it doesn't jive. But anyway, I love it when it's right down there at the bottom. C&B, Central. Oh, there it is. There it is. Our presenting sponsor. Thank you, Mr. Fonville. Appreciate your business. And did you see Kevin Scott Drew commented on my jacket? And this is actually what you call a shacket.
Right.
All right.
I'm not sure that the shacket would have cut it where they were, honestly.
No.
If it was that cold.
Jacket's it's a little bit more of a fashion choice. It's honestly something I threw on because I didn't really I felt like I needed to honor the legendary coach with not with a t-shirt, the t-shirt and the hat. Kevin,
Right.
you're more off camera during that interview, so you can get away with it.
And what was the
feel
first thing he said to me as soon as before we started? You're not going to take that hat off, are you? No. Why would I? It kind of threw him some shade talking about the IU's 3-game winning
That's
streak.
one thing about Scott that's great is he's the same. He's going to be the same whether they're number one in the country or they're struggling like they are this season. And if we were doing this with that UCLA coach, Mick, whatever that guy, he is
Cronin?
the gnarliest, biggest a-hole. Now he's a pretty good coach, but I just think of people who would be in this situation. You'd be like, oh, great, we got to talk to so-and-so again. And Scott is just, again, you would never know.
Right.
You would, other than me having to bring up how, I'm not going to sit here and try to act like this is a great season. And he knows that too. I got a little tour recently, Kevin, and I got to kind of take a peek into Scott's office. And the Bible he has, you think, well, Scott talks a lot about God and, is he really? And it's just like, wow, you walk into his office and on the wall, you think, well, all the national title stuff and everything. No, it's this huge wall of every baptism that's happened in the program. And he gave us some stats there, Kevin. I mean, I like good baptism analytics. They've had 6 in the program this year. Now, Scott knows the fandom is like, but let's get back to winning. We like the stats on the baptisms. And Kevin, are you fine, by the way? You're a man that's been in the ministry. Are you good with a sprinkle or do you like the full immersion, get in the river, get in the baptismal, or in some churches they have almost like a glorified hot tub type situation where you got to kind of climb up in the hot. I still like the old Baptist baptismal because I just think it's got a great look behind the stage and you see the waters always kind of floating up there. It's a kind of a great reminder. But I will say, Kevin, our Baptist church may have moved a little bit to the left. We do not require the full immersion. In fact, you can kind of put your hand in some water or something, Where do you stand on that, Kevin?
The sprinkle's a little Catholic for me. I go full immersion.
Okay.
Although one of the jobs that I have had in churches is I was a video guy, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense here. And so one of the things we would do is record video testimonies, right? And one of my greatest then frustrations was having a child come in where they have to get coached through their articulation of their decision by their parents. And then the very next baptism video is somebody talking about how they got baptized as a kid, grew up, went to college, drifted away, and then now they're back in church. And I saw the two ends of that going, oh, how do we fill that gap? That's why I love doing the Mr. Bible Teacher podcast, so I can teach. The idea is teaching the high school students especially, how to dig into their faith while they're still in the protection of their own home, so that we can start bridging that gap between 18 and 30 that we see in church attendance.
There you go, buddy. Yeah. I got one off in college right now. I may have to put her onto that podcast.
There you go.
All right. Kev.
Yes.
Although last night they were like, I'm going to do, I was at a Bible study and they were just like, and one of the guys was like, my resolution is to listen and not be so emotional and not spend so much of my time watching sports. And then one guy said, I'm not listening to talk radio on the way to, I'm listening to the Bible. And I'm like, guys, let's draw the line somewhere.
You can
we still
do
need to,
both.
Yes,
You can
right.
do both.
We don't have to.
One of my favorite baptism videos.
They said they
though,
still subscribed, so we still get credit for them. Yeah.
One of my favorite baptism videos is the kid who did a cannonball. He couldn't wait. He just did a cannonball right in the baptism. Yes, I love it. I love the energy.
I liked it. All right, Kevin. Well, I think you can get to heaven even if you don't do the full immersion. Kevin, I'm not so sure.
Oh, no.
We got to do some campus.
I would say that there is a difference between baptism and salvation entirely.
There you go. Good.
That's a whole separate thing.
That's right.
Let's jump into some campus confidential here. Let's
what do you
start
have for me
with the man that we talked about several times yesterday, and that is Darren Peterson. The Kansas won in Lubbock, so you were wrong on that one. But Darren Peterson played 35 minutes and had the tying and winning shot in the closing minutes. So does he only play like that against ranked teams then? Does he only not take plays off when they're playing ranked teams?
I don't think he takes plays off. He takes whole halves and games off. I think when he's out there, he plays hard, and this is a fascinating story. They did a good job on him last night. Now, in my defense, and by the way, I'd like to see these shots at some point when we discuss. Here we go.
90 seconds.
Here we go. Here's what he's talking about.
Launches. And even Toppin challenges, but that
was a tough shot because that was kind of off balance.
Everybody on their feet in Lubbock. Peters that played, and this is just something he's going to do.
That's crazy on Atwell. Atwell's a good defender. I don't know what
Atwell was doing there. Atwell was not aggressive. Now, Kev, before we move on to this Peterson discussion, because I love that. I hated the ending because I'm a big Grant McCaslin guy, and but that was fascinating to watch. But I picked Tech to win, and for most of it looked like they were up 9 with 6 minutes to go. They were still up with 3 minutes to go. They were up by 6. But Kev, Christian Anderson, the great point guard, the All-American point guard for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, did not play in that game. And they didn't find out, sadly, until 15 minutes before the game. And they dang near still won. I think they win that game if Christian Anderson had played. He did not play for the Red Raiders. So that's the only thing I'll use, Kevin, to defend my pick just a little bit. I did not know the kid was going to be out, but he was. Now, Peterson honestly didn't do that much in that game. He had basically hadn't scored the whole second half. And then when it was winning time, down by 3, boom, hit. Tie ball game, boom, hit. Wow. I thought Tech did a lot to lose that game. And at the end, Peterson said, I'll take this. I am the superstar in this building. I will go ahead and finish this game. And occasionally we need to be reminded why we spend so much time on him. The truth is, the last 2 times I've seen DeBonsa and Peterson, they've both had some lacking moments. DeBonsa was not great against Peterson in that game. Now, they weren't head-to-head because they played different positions, but they were both in the game. Peterson, as you'll recall, just sat the whole second half out. I think I'm done for this game. And then in this game in Lubbock, so Kevin, if your question is, does he pick and choose his spots? Yes. I think the answer is yes. I think it's bizarre. I think it's an agent or somebody controlling it. And I think it's such a sensitive, volatile deal that Self has to kind of go along with it. Because here's what Bill Self has. Bill Self, who's coached tons of NBA types. But on one hand, he has a chance to go to another Final Four and possibly win a national championship. So he can't alienate this kid who can help him get there. Because as good as Melvin Council and what's our man's name? Debunga, good player. God, that guy's a great player. Is as good as the supporting cast is, they have zero chance without Peterson of winning a national title. With Peterson, they have a real chance. I think with Peterson, Kansas is now like a top 7 team. And the top 7 or 8 teams in this country have a chance to win it all. And I guess we have to put Iowa State back in there. The voters have put them back in there, and I think they're playing better. They went through a deal where I was like, what's going on, TJ? What's going on, Otzelberger? God, man, wasn't that great? Wasn't Scott great to open the show today? That was Kev, I mean, that's something we might want to think about. Just not even waiting. Just like, hey, we got Scott. Now, the only thing I didn't do, Kevin, I'm mad at myself. I missed your text where you sent me that nice tease. I could have really given that thing like some major social media promotion, and I didn't really do it. And so I'm really.
I can only do what I can do. You know.
I know. It's a total fail on my part. All right, Kev, what else do we have?
All right, so speaking of these teams and where we are at this moment, put your Lenardi hat on. Who are your last 4 in, first 4 out at this point?
Oh, I would have to kind of okay, this is asking too much of me because all I do when it comes to that, here's what I know we get kind of, if Baylor gets on the bubble, then I'll get way into that bubble stuff.
Okay.
But for the most part, the first 4 out, I could care less. They're not that good. They're barely in the conversation. The only first
No. Because what you have to consider is all of these mid-majors that get auto bids.
I do like them. I like some of them.
So
but for the
the
most
last
part,
4 in are not necessarily. I mean, they could be last 4 in as a 9 seed, just based on where they are.
I'm just saying I don't spend much time on that. Let me tell you this though. I would say probably it's like UCLA. I think UCF has entered the talks because they just had another big win. And so I would kind of go UCF, UCLA. I think that horrible loss TCU just had at Colorado has bumped it out of the conversation. And then I'm trying to think if there's anybody in my mind that's kind of bubble-ish in the SEC. I would say University of Texas is like a first 4 out type team for me.
Okay.
Because they've had some decent wins, but they've had some really bad losses. And
Texas is ranked 39th overall right now. TCU and Baylor 54-55. Baylor's
in
55.
what? Net? What do you mean?
The net rankings.
Yeah, because I think we need to be specific about because right now
that's the only way you can kind of look at like everybody down through the line.
The net.
Yeah.
But do they also have like Sagarin and like I'm always wanting to see where Ken Palm has everything, Ken Pomeroy, where he has everybody ranked and all that kind of stuff. But because those things are very interesting. But I would say now mid-major wise, here are the teams I'm kind of liking.
Okay.
I'm hearing good things about the Zips. The Zips.
All right.
The Akron Zips. I like that team. Obviously, Miami of Ohio has had a really good season. I think this is a weird year because I'm not sensing there's any clear-cut the AAU in the past, or AAC, American Athletic Conference, AAC. The AAC has been a conference that, has the ability to maybe produce not just the conference champion, maybe one other team that's been really good, like a UAB or an FAU or someone like that, or like a UNT. It's not there, man. It's not there. That's a weird conference. Like, if you look at Wichita State in South Florida and FAU and UNT and Memphis and you start naming them all off, there's nobody in that conference that has said, we're here. We're the big bad bullies in this conference. So I'm kind of a little bit interested in that. There's somebody I like in the Southland. Oh, here it is. and they're probably not yet in the conversation for the tournament, so they probably still need to win the Southland. The SFA Lumberjacks. It's a dang good team. Kevin, I want you to start putting some eyes on that team.
Yep.
The Lumberjacks are like 20-2 or 20-1, you know, they are 20-3. Lumberjacks are playing some basketball. So I like that team. So Kevin, maybe I do pay a little more attention than I let on, but I
got
just don't.
mid-major there. I like it.
Thank you. I like, and we also have, there's a guy from ESPN Sports Center named Kevin Connors. There's Kevin Connor. Anyway, I love that guy, and he does a whole big, huge thing about the mid-majors. And I don't know if it's a podcast or like a website or something, but like he's really good, and I have him on in the past. And you'll recognize him, Kevin. He's the guy that at halftime, he's always the studio host with Greenberg and all those guys.
Yeah.
And he's got dark hair, and he played college basketball, but he's just the coolest guy in the world. All right, buddy. What else do you have?
All right, then what's the one college basketball game to watch tonight of all of them?
Give me a few. Just give me a few to pick from.
Xavier, UConn, Boston College, Duke, Ole Miss at Tennessee. Let's see. We got St. Bonaventure at Dayton, South Carolina, Texas, St. John's at DePaul, St. Louis at Davison.
So far, you've described the worst night of college basketball I can ever recall. Like
I'm trying here.
South Carolina is. I watched them recently against A&M. They're horrible. Give me. Is there any? Can you give me some Big 12 or some? I mean, is U of H playing somebody?
We got that Akron's on, but
Okay.
ESPN Plus.
I'll watch that.
Eastern Michigan.
Who's the Big 12 schedule tonight? I mean, there's got to be some Big 12 going on. I mean, you gave me some real dogs.
Well, I mean, my Hoosiers play at USC tonight, but that's
All
a late
right,
one.
USC did something recently that interested me. They either had a big win. I think they had something they did caught my eye, and they have an interesting coach because the former Arkansas coach Musselman is out there. So I could watch that. Anything else for me?
Pitt at Virginia. That's pretty much it. There's no Big 12.
Yeah, I don't know. Virginia's pretty good. I don't know. Virginia's one of those maybe last four in. They're probably better than that. They've actually been ranked.
They're ranked 18th right now.
That's true. They're better than that. I would like if I could watch like a game of Tiddlywinks or see somebody play marbles. I would do that before I would watch DePaul play basketball.
Well, okay.
Or like play a game of Go Fish, or what's the one about the Grand Mall? What is those cards? There's a Grand Mall on the cards. What are those things called? Old woman or old
granny?
I
don't know.
Well, there's something kind of
Old Maid.
Yeah, I'd play Old Maid before I would watch DePaul, or basically any of those games you just described.
Well, I suggest to everyone the new Major League Volleyball League is pretty sweet to watch. A lot of good action in that one.
I'll stick with the board games.
Well, okay, so you want Big 12. Here's a question, and we could maybe we take a break before we really jump into this.
Okay.
Who had the best portal class in Big 12 football this offseason?
Big 12?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tech. I mean, it's not even close. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, it's just like they're not even playing the same.
Okay,
yeah.
Then push it forward, because just because you win the offseason doesn't mean you win the season. So at the end of the season, who will we say had the best portal class?
Tech.
It's still Tech?
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
You think Sorsby's going to do that great?
Yeah, Tech. I mean, it's not even fair. It's like the Dodgers in baseball. They're just money whipping us. I could barely even talk about it. It's just like Texas Tech overnight just became, it's like they're what Oklahoma used to be in the conference. It's unfortunate. It really is. And I'm with Doug McNamee, and I'll help in any way I can to see the Bears get back in the mix. But it's just not happening. They're playing a different game. Now, if you say for the money, who's got the best portal classes for the money on a budget, the rest of the world has to live on a budget, okay? And the Big 12. And I would say the Cougs. Let me do the Cougs chant for you real quick, Kev. Whose house? You didn't do it. Do you not know the chant?
Nope.
Okay, Kev, you need to learn these things.
Okay,
This is
all
you
right.
cover the Big 12 now. I mean,
All right.
You say whose house, and then you have to say Cougs house.
Okay.
That's what U of H does.
All right.
Up at Kevin's like, Matt, I only do chants for the Hoosiers. I only do the who chant. I cannot believe there's not better basketball on. Now you've got me really looking some stuff up. Golly, you've planned the worst evening in the history of my TV watching.
It's
Lord
Tuesday.
knows I need some NBA at least. Give me some good NBA. Oh, here we go. They've traded Jaren Jack. Whoa.
Trade
breaking
deadline.
news.
Where's
Give me
Giannis
some
going?
Breaking news. Give me the breaking news sounder real quick.
All right, here we go.
The Utah Jazz are acquiring star forward Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Grizzlies as part of an 8-player trade. Memphis will receive their 3 first-round draft picks. Dang! Wow! All those Danny Ainge assets? Whoa! Along with rookie guard Walter Clayton Jr., remember him from Florida, the great player. Forwards Kyle Anderson, he has moments. Taylor Hendricks played at UCF, I think, at one point. Or was it Florida State? I think UCF. And George Niang, remember him from Iowa State days. Whoa! The Jazz will acquire center Jock Landale and guards John Conchar and Vince Williams Jr. in the deal. The picks that Utah sent to Memphis include the Lakers 2027, the most favorable, the other first-rounders the Jazz own in 2027, and the Phoenix Suns 2031, sources said. Goodness gracious. I mean,
I don't know what's crazier, the fact that we're giving up that many picks, or we're talking about 2031.
No, but this is big, man. This is a Utah team. Dennis Lindsey used to be there. Remember him? He's now with the Detroit Pistons, and he used to be with the Mavericks, but played at Baylor. Good guy. Well, in fact, we totally need to have him on the show. Goodness gracious. This is big because this is the Utah Jazz saying we're tired of screwing around and just out here playing to play. We got all these assets. It's time to go do some damage. It's time to get back into playoff conversation. Jaren Jackson was a NBA Defensive Player of the Year. He's a 2-time All-Star. He can score. He can do it all. He can shoot. He can play underneath the basket. He can rebound. He can defend. That's a playing dude right there. And so, God, they keep the international 3-point shooter and then Keontae George from Baylor has had an incredible year for them. Utah's decided we are going to compete next year. Dang it, man. That's a freaking NBA trade right there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for playing, because we had the deadline coming up, and this is the Jazz are now. We also had this was not the Pistons receive a 2026 first rounder. Chicago, Minnesota, and Detroit have agreed to a multi-team deal that sends Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley to the Bulls, and Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric to the Pistons, sources told. Wow. Okay. Somehow the Pistons got a first rounder in that deal. I mean, Ivy was a first round pick and was considered a pretty good player at one point. I don't know how he's doing lately. I need to check on that. But the NBA has enough. The trade deadline grabs my attention, and I find that Pistons thing, or I find that Jazz thing very, very interesting. Okay, Kev, good stuff. Campus Confidential, and that's going to lead us into some college talk. I tell you what, though, Kevin, I think what we got to do here, I think we got to deal with the breaking news today. After we take care of our partners, Kev, we need to we'll talk about the latest Patriots controversy. Bob Kraft. Wow, that's next.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
All right, we are back, and we've got a lot to cover, a lot to unpack. Great to have Scott Drew on earlier today. And we covered a lot of ground as they get ready. Colorado Buffaloes. The Buffs coming off they crushed TCU. I think that game was in Colorado. Tad Boyle and his team. That's a guy that's had some decent teams. They've made the tournament. They've had some really bad years. Haven't really known if he was going to keep his job. He's kept his job. So it's been an up and down program. But both teams desperate need of a win. I think they're 3-6 in conference, Bears 2-7. And so if Bears could get to 3-7 and then they go to Iowa State, get BYU coming in Tuesday, you just never know. Bears need to win 2 of these next 3 to just kind of, just kind of, I don't know. I don't even know if that would give them a chance at the tournament. It would just kind of give them, we'd feel a lot better about things. So that would put them at 4-8. 4-8. My gosh, after being 1-7, give me that. Now, of course, that would require a win over Colorado and then either beating Iowa State at Iowa State or beating BYU at your place. I think they got a better chance against BYU, but let's not act like, BYU is great and other teams have not struggled playing at Baylor. TCU's won here. Iowa State's won here. Houston, Tech. It's not been a tough place to play.
Given where they are and what's happened thus far, they are better on the road than they are at home.
Yeah, I think that's accurate, and it's just, and I would tell you if that had anything to do with the crowds or Foster, and the truth is, even on that messy, scary roads day, that Saturday against TCU, Kev, where people weren't getting out, that was a decent crowd that showed up. So I would, that is not on the home fans. That is just the guys are not, just have not played well at home, and played really well against Oklahoma State. Didn't shoot it that great at West Virginia, but played really good defense. Shot it well early, and then locked down on defense. Had an 8-point halftime lead, and that was. And again, we'll share with you, if you're just joining us, the Scott Drew interview. We'll get that up on all the platforms, and we'll share that with you. And we'll be checking in. I think tomorrow we're going to have Nick Harris on, who was at the Senior Bowl, and then we got a lot of Cowboys news that's been happening, and CD's talking, and George Pickens is talking. Micah was talking a little bit yesterday. There's some stuff to get into on that front that we kind of want to share with you, and then at some point this week, I'm kind of, I think next year we'll be at the Super Bowl. Parts of it I don't miss. Okay. I did it for 12 or 13 years. Radio Row is, all my friends always ask about it. Yes, it's kind of fun first couple times you do it. Yes, it's also kind of a beating. But for this new audience, the old YouTube show, I think we ought to be there. I think we ought to do it. And I think the thought is perhaps we'll try to do that for next year, and we'll have a good time with that. Let's get the breaking news sounder going, Kev. We need to talk about this. There he is, looking kind of angry, looking like he could use a massage. Robert Kraft, former and the longtime owner of the Patriots, sounded off and absolutely believes that Belichick should be in the Hall of Fame. News breaks that league sources have told
Massage.
ESPN.
The massage. I can't. That's too. That's yeah. Massage. Well done.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for noticing. It's just too easy when you look at an angry Kraft there. It just looks like the man could use a little bit of relaxation. By the way, owners behaving badly. Kevin, Kraft got into some issues at a massage parlor at one point. All right, and I'm don't totally remember what all came of that situation. I don't think the NFL came down too severely on him, but we also have and I'll get to that in a minute. The New York Giants co-owner. Some emails have been, if you've noticed, and if you're into the political world, and if you follow world events and current events, these Epstein files and emails keep getting released. And there was a co-owner of the New York Giants, Steve Tisch, apparently was pretty friendly with Jeff Epstein. All right. It's not some It's not a place you want to show up in. Unfortunately, a certain former Baylor president, his name has shown up as being very friendly with Jeff Epstein. Ugh, not good. Not good, ladies and gentlemen. But back to Robert Kraft. I don't think Kraft is involved with Epstein, but, well, I know he's not. His name has not come up. Robert's just an angry man. Man, Kraft, he was a first-time Hall of Fame finalist this year, did not receive enough votes from the 50-person selection committee to be included in the class of 2026, which will be announced Thursday night at the NFL Honors in San Francisco. So really rough deal there. The Hall of Fame's new voting requirements in 2025 helped pit Kraft against Belichick. Kraft was one of 5 finalists among contributors, coaches, and senior players who last appeared in a game in 2000 or earlier. Kraft was the contributor finalist, and Belichick was the coach, with Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, and L.C. Greenwood the players. The stupidity of making the voters do all of these things at the same time. What are you doing? Why can we not figure this out? Why did you change that process? So now the voters can be like, well, I think Belichick's going to get in, so I won't give him my vote. I'll give my vote to L.C. Greenwood, or I'll give it to Kraft. Well, neither of them got in. Now, this does help in some respects. The awkward situation that could have unfolded had you had Kraft get in and Belichick not get in. Because then you already have Kraft, who has completely turned on Belichick, made a documentary basically extolling himself and all he did, and then dumping any kind of controversy or even the Aaron Hernandez, the horrific story there, kind of leaving that at Belichick's feet. What a joke. What a joke. But Kraft, absolutely. And as somebody made the point today, and it was a fair point, 30 years since Jerry Jones went to and won a Super Bowl. 30 years. This man has been, since then, Kraft has been to 11. Jerry's gone 0 for 30. Jerry, 2017, he's in, baby. Jerry Jones, Hall of Famer. Pro Football Hall of Famer. And then the man who has, and by the way, even as an helping the league and league, like being a huge leader in the NFL, Kraft is at the top. I'm telling you, man, Jerry was blocking this thing. Jerry had it out for Kraft at one point. They had a falling out because I think Jerry wanted Goodell out. Jerry was mad that the league suspended Zeke Elliott, and Jerry got very angry about how that was handled, and Jerry wanted Goodell fired. And Jerry went rogue, someone that had been a major leader in NFL, and he went completely rogue, and he got crossways because Kraft did not help him. In fact, even though Goodell had been instrumental in fining Kraft, again, it's a very weird world of billionaires where one guy can be on the outs with somebody, and the next thing you know, that guy's defending that person. The one person that everybody turned on was Dan Snyder. And once Snyder started showing up, and I don't think he showed up on the Epstein list, but he did show up as sexual harassment charges, allegations, and at some point everybody said, sell that team. You are a snake. You are someone, disreputable individual, and we are tired of you embarrassing the Shield. By the way, the Shield's been being embarrassed for years. Dan Snyder's not the first person to ever do that, but they told him unload the team. All right. So there is your latest there. And as I told you, there is Steve Tisch, co-owner of the deal. And Kevin, I meant to send you some of that. We'll do it for tomorrow. I surfed through that about 38 minutes of the Goodell talk, the Goodell news conference. And I kind of highlighted some things I wanted and things I found interesting. And Goodell was asked what to do with Steve Tisch, who is apparently not just friendly with Epstein, but wanting to meet people, wanting to meet women in Epstein's orbit. We all know the allegations, and we know what he was even convicted of. And we know Epstein, and it was Epstein Island, and it was trafficking young women and what underage. I mean, just awful stuff, awful, detestable stuff. And what Steve Tisch has now come out and said is that I now know him to be a bad person. I regret that I was with him, but it was with women. He was helping me meet grown women or something like that. Whatever Tisch is trying to say now. Tisch is an embarrassment to the league and probably should be forced to sell his part of the team if the league wants to, purports to be above it all, above the fray. Now, what's happening though? The league, and Kevin's kind of funny because Kevin's a huge Indianapolis Colts fan, and so he loves seeing Kraft not get in and Belichick get in and all that kind of stuff. But at least for Spygate, they were punished. Now, some would say, well, it was not enough. The punishment was not enough. But there was some form of punishment. And then everybody kind of moved on. What's happening now is more punishment. A group of former, people, the Bill Polians and the Dungies of the world, and these are major people with major Colts ties. And in fact, the reason they are in the Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, is because of primarily what they did with the Colts, except for Dungy, who had some great years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's not forget that. Although that was Gruden who ended up winning.
No. But that was Gruden's first year. It's much like when a president takes credit for the things that happened at the beginning of their term that were actually set in motion.
But don't know me. I'm correct. Gruden is the one who won the Super Bowl, not Dungy. Dungy
he won it
with
Gruden. He won it with Dungy's system and Dungy's team, essentially.
That's fine. But you kind of knowed me, and I was making the proper point, which is, in my mind, I was like, wait, Gruden didn't win that one. I mean, Dungy didn't win that one. Gruden did.
Yep.
I can't believe you're trying to take away from Gruden, though. Gruden did plenty for that team.
And
my
Gruden
God,
got in trouble too.
He won that thing with Brad Johnson, for goodness sakes. Against Rich Gannon and
Mike
the great
Allstott.
Raiders.
Mike Allstott.
Do you remember who was the wait a second. This could be a Schmaltz's trivia question.
That defense too.
Put Schmaltz's up there, by the way. God, I love it when Schmaltz's. I love it when I see that brand go up there. Look at it. There it is. The greatest sandwich in all of Central Texas. It's a beautiful thing. Kev, what was can you name, Kevin, the MVP from that game, though? The Bucks Raiders Super Bowl that we're discussing, which would have had to be circa
It was 05. No, that was
earlier than that.
2. It was 2002.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you name the MVP of that?
It might have been 3. 2002, 2003.
2003 season. I was at the Super Bowl in Houston covering whoever played in that. That was Janet Jackson. So
I'm thinking of the
Could have
year
been 2002.
it would have been okay in February. Was it John Lynch?
No.
Okay.
I'll help you out though. It was a defensive player.
Yeah, it was a defensive player. Would have been one of the linebackers, maybe.
No, you're trying to think of all the players.
Yeah, I know.
But you're missing a player. And this was a guy that it will go down as one of the kind of a little bit of a no name. Although he was good. Okay, Dexter Jackson.
Okay. See, I was like, it wasn't Rondé Barber.
I think he had a couple interceptions. Big game.
Yeah.
The craziest one ever was the Cowboys had a guy who, and he ended up making a lot of money off that because the Raiders paid him a huge amount of money to come to them in free agency. But the Dallas Cowboys, in one of those 3 Super Bowls in the 90s, the great cornerback, Larry Brown. Larry was not, he was a fine player. He was not a great player, but he had like 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl. And Larry Brown became the MVP. Cowboys had like the only ever guy that was an MVP in a losing effort. Back in the day, what Super Bowl was that? I'm just trying to think which Super Bowl they lost for that to happen. So let me think about that one. Chuck Halley. I did not have to. I was like, why is my brain not firing? I believe Chuck Halley, although I say that, Chuck Halley, I do think was a Super Bowl MVP. What I'm a little bit hazy on is if he was, if that was in a losing effort, because in one of those Super Bowls, I think Harvey Martin might have been an MVP of one of those games, and that could have been in a losing effort. Anyway, that right there, Harvey was one of the. They didn't keep sacks for a lot of the time Harvey was playing, and so I forget what the unofficial number is, but Harvey was probably great enough. Charlie Waters too, that they probably should be in the Ring of Honor. But goodness gracious, Harvey was great. The late, great Harvey Martin, who Kevin played at the place they now call it East Texas A&M, but back then it was known as East Texas State. Harvey Martin came right out of there, one of the all-time greats for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, I'm basically now playing trivia with myself here, Kev. Now, so Kev, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's take a break, and then I do want to get, and I promise you, at some point this week, we are going to take a look at what you were trying to point me toward. We will look at Baylor's portal class, and I'm going to kind of go the highs and lows. And obviously, DJ Lagway is the headliner, and I'm going to kind of do the greatest below the radar and the guy I think might be the best. I am going to do some analysis of the Baylor portal. But Kevin, what I'd really like to do next is I think it's really time now, and we hadn't really had a chance to do this. And I'm sure, hopefully you have the graphic that can show all these guys. We've now filled all the NFL head coaching jobs. And as of today, by the way, the New York Football Giants have hired an offensive coordinator. Matt Nagy has come over from those Kansas City Chiefs. Matt Nagy, and then Eric Bieniemy will go back to being the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. So a little bit of rearranging of the chairs there. And then, Kevin, remind me in this next segment, as we take you to about 2:55, I may try to get out on time today. I don't want to promise anything, but I may. Boy, major story coming out of Buffalo. Wow. The GM just basically said, F the fans. F anybody outside this building. Whoa. Slow down, Bucky. Jeez. Very angry man is the GM of those Buffalo Bills. Kev, all of that coming up next.
Save big during the Start Something New sales event at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Waco. Drive a new Ram 1500 Lone Star Crew Cab with $13,000 off or choose 0% financing. Get a new Laramie Crew Cab 4-wheel drive with 3.9% financing for 72 months plus $15,000 off MSRP. Explore in a new Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo starting at $31,990. Happening now at Allen Samuels.
Come by. Let's be friends.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NordVPN.com. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
At Tusane's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusanes.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It is the Mosley Show. We roll on this Tuesday afternoon. And, man, great to have so many of you. Super Bowl week. We'll join our crew. I mean, Kev, I'm feeling a little left out. Pete's there. That 365 Sports crew. I mean, they all just kind of left us at home. And I have it on good authority from some texting this morning that we'll be there next year. All right. We just didn't quite. I don't know.
We didn't make the cut this year.
I don't know. Even though I've been many, many years and would know my way around that place better than anybody. It's okay. I'm just I'm just glad we'll be able to watch. We'll be able to have a good time. We'll be with friends. We can just all hole up and have a big time. And we can do our show from afar. And many, many people, all my old colleagues at ESPN.com, a lot of people don't go anymore. But I still enjoy it, and it's fun to be there. And so we'll be back on the scene. Do not worry. And the Mosley Show will live to fight another day. Kev, I got to say, there's some interesting things going on in the NFL today. Matt Ryan from the Falcons, and then Kevin, we'll talk about as they fill out the rest of these jobs. The only coaching job that needs to be filled now is the Raiders, and we all believe that Clint Kubiak is going to be that guy. And I think, Kevin, when we were doing the like it, hate it, or meh the other day, I think you kind of gave this one a meh. I think you didn't even like this, the Raiders. But we'll come back to that. We'll come back to how we think about that. The Falcons, that was interesting today. Matt Ryan is now, everybody's going the way of Brady. These former quarterbacks, even Aikman was helping out the Dolphins. The Falcons aren't ready to make any commitment to a starting quarterback. Now, I said to you, Kevin, I just don't think Michael Penix is the answer, and I don't think they're totally sold on him, even though he was their former first-round pick. Now it turns out I was on to something. They've since hired Coach Kevin Stefanski, GM Ian Cunningham, and President of Football Matt Ryan. And they had a press conference introducing Cunningham and the new brain trust today. Listen to this when he was asked about Michael Penix. Kevin, Ryan said, neither of us are the head coach of the football team, so we can't answer your question on that. I think as we start to get into this process and dive deeper into the roster, how it currently stands, where it's going in the future, I think those are conversations that'll be a part of. Quarterback's obviously very important. We're excited about Mike and what he's doing with his rehab. I've been at the facility the last 3 weeks, and Michael's been in there attacking that, and he's in a good space right now. So we're excited about where he's at. It's not a sure thing because of the ACL that he'd be ready for that first week, all right? So they don't have to say anything. They don't have to come out on his behalf. But, boy, they could have. Kirk Cousins is expected to be released after reworking his contract, so the Falcons they could get another quarterback next month. The quarterback that over the last few years that was kind of passed around for here to there to the Jets, started with the Jets and he's moved around, is Darnold. So he's the great example of into the Vikings before that, and he had his breakout with the Vikings. He was somewhere else before that. Anyway, he's been like 4 different teams. But there's Matt Ryan. And it's very interesting, these brain trusts, right? It's like, here is this former quarterback great who hasn't really done this, has been in the media. He's kind of the grand poobah. But we're also going to hire a new general manager, Ian Cunningham. We're going to bring him in. And then, oh, by the way, we got Stefanski, who at some point has been thought of as a really good head coach and was the coach of the year at Cleveland. And I think this one, Kevin, you gave this one a huge thumbs up, the coach. The problem is the way Art Blank does some business here is you kind of you bring all these guys in, you go, all right, this is interesting. Well, it's kind of like, the Vikings just fired their GM. It's like, wait a second. You're hiring people right now. You're not waiting till now to fire your GM. Why'd you wait? Why'd you wait 3 or 4 weeks? Same thing with Aaron Glenn. Why'd you sit on this for a couple of weeks while all these other guys got hired? And it's a strange thing, the way some of these teams go about this. And what it creates is, like, with the Ravens, you had really good synergy. You had a powerful head coach with Harbaugh, but you also had a powerful GM in Ozzie Newsome, and then after him, Eric DaCosta, but Ozzie's still in the building. And you kind of have a clear delineation of, like, what everybody's doing. Kevin, my thought is too many leaders, too many. You like to have voices in the room. Look at the Cowboys. They got Will McClay does a great job prepping, setting the board, getting the draft together. But here comes Steven, and here comes Jerry, and here comes Shoddy. And you're just like, whoa, who are all these people? Like, what's going on? So I think the organizations that have a real clear alignment are usually going to be set up for success a little bit more.
I hear them talk about
teams. You had Dungy, and then even Caldwell. He was weak as all get out, but he was just kind of a caretaker coach who they had incredible players at the time. And then you had Polian, who was, out getting all the players and drafting the players. And of course, he had years and years of experience. And as much as the guy infuriates me for the Lamar Jackson stuff and other stuff, and just kind of being kind of a gas bag, he does have a history of success with the draft. You had sort of a clear-cut thing. Okay, sorry, Kevin, what were you going to say?
I hear them talk about, well, we're not in charge, we're not the coach, and I feel like Stefanski just landed in the same kind of situation he just left, where you have bad management and all of these quarterbacks that are and so now the buck is being passed to him again. Instead of Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders and Joe Flacco, now you have Kirk Cousins that is probably going to be gone. You got Michael Penix Jr. and now you're back on the market with the free agents. So I immediately go, okay, here are the free agents, quarterbacks that are available. Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Marcus Mariota, Zach Wilson, and it doesn't get better from there, right? Trey Lance, Trubisky, Garoppolo,
where are the Colts on Jones?
That is a good question. We've talked about that pretty decent amount on our All Indiana Sports podcast. Our feeling, now we don't know, we don't have contacts in the building, but our feeling is he's not going to be ready to go, shouldn't be ready to go till mid-season, because that's, the Achilles should be about a year recovery. So you really can't count on him till the beginning. So now I immediately go, okay, well, what are some of these quarterbacks that have connections? And I look at Cousins and go, man, this could be a kind of Russell Wilson to the Steelers situation, where the Falcons are probably going to pick up most of the tab on that salary, a dead cap, and then the Colts could get him for a vet minimum of $1 million, and he could kind of fill in that gap. Now, he's not mobile. He is completely opposite of what Shane Steichen really likes in a quarterback. So I would tend to say, well, you got to figure out between Anthony Richardson and Riley Leonard who might be your quarterback for the future. But I don't know if you can risk signing a guy like Daniel Jones to another potential $15 million a year when he's only going to be there for half the season.
It's scary when you have one, and I know what you're saying, you might not have him enough of the season. I get all that. But you've seen the Vikings made a scary decision. The Vikings did the thing where they said, you know what? Yeah, this guy put up really good numbers, but he kind of faded at the end, and we got this young guy, and let's turn it over to him. Let's let him sink or swim. And he kind of sunk.
To be fair,
the guy now is in the Super Bowl. The guy that they had the burden to hand is in the Super Bowl. But when you take a first-round pick, now, again, the salary structure is not such. It used to be, if you missed on a quarterback, you were screwed for years to come. now, because of the wage scale, you're not exactly done forever. It's not great. It's not great, but you can pivot and move on a lot faster.
Yeah.
And all these people are gone. Like the guy at Vikings is already gone because he missed out. Oh, by the way, while we're thinking about this, Kevin, and you can stay on with me, this leads to that whole Buffalo thing. I mean, did you see? Is that Bean?
Yep.
Brandon Bean?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Good for you. I mean, I always hear from him, but I barely know what the guy looks like. Got a good, he got a good short haircut there. I may go with that at some point. I may go, high and tight. I think you should too. I think tomorrow when we come on, we should just have that haircut that guy has. Boy, those quotes from Brandon Bean, and it has to do with the quarterback because he did say one thing that resonated with me. He's like, guys, if I had missed on Josh Allen, y'all would have had the moving trucks would have been at my place. I would have been gone by now. And I think he's trying to kind of respond to a lot of people from the outside think that was a rash decision to fire McDermott. And then they promote Joe Brady from inside the building. And we don't know if that really fixes anything. Kevin, I don't think you were that excited about that pick.
That was my whole point. Not only do you fire McDermott pretty much over one play, let's be honest, but that was a very controversial play within itself, but then you hire from within, and in the middle of it, you throw McDermott under the bus for the Keon Coleman situation, and nobody really knows. It very well could have been this guy who made that call.
That was the owner.
It's his call to begin with, anyway.
Yeah, the owner did. You're right. And Brandon Bean, I guess, a little bit tired of the criticism, goes on a podcast. Isn't that funny? Like it's like they'll sit there and at the podium not really say anything, and then they get relaxed or something on a podium. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I was looking for the exact quote here, Kevin. If you find it before I do. I got this whole Roger Goodell thing, but the huge news, by the way, just to recap, is Bob Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, was left out. Is not going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So both of them will be out. All right. Now, here it is. I got it in front of me, Kevin. I don't know why it's taking me so long. The Bills' president of football operations was discussing Buffalo's controversial decision to fire longtime coach Sean McDermott and replace him with Joe Brady in a recent interview with Go Long. What is that? Do we know what Go Long is? Anyway, I'm sure it's good.
I'll look it up.
All right. Bean told Go Long, F the outside. Whoa. Drops an F-bomb. It's about the right selection for this team. And if we win, they'll love it. A recent survey conducted by the Buffalo News showed over 75% of the participants disagreed with the decision to fire McDermott. The Buffalo News ran another survey in which less than 38% agreed that Brady was the right hire for head coach. Bean told Go Long that he was aware of the widespread criticism and acknowledged that his job security might depend on Brady's success. He said, it's the same thing I said when I took Josh Allen. If I'm wrong, the moving company will be at my house. So I understand I'm not going to have regret of choosing someone to appease the outside if I thought it should have been something different. If I'm wrong, I'll effing take my job and effing go home. Whoa, Kev, my gosh. Brandon Bean, the paint is coming off the walls in that building. Just cussing up a storm. Kevin,
pretty sure that jacket wasn't on during that interview.
Who is the Go Long people? Who is this?
It's like a sports blog.
All right.
Old school sports blog, yeah.
I don't want to be wrong. See him go somewhere else when my gut told me it was Joe Brady. I'm never going to do that. I would love for everyone to cheer every move, but it's not about winning the press conference. It's about winning games over there. Whoa.
You know what I would say to that?
Wow.
In Indianapolis, we know a pretty good moving company. It's called Mayflower. So go ahead and move those trucks over there.
That's right. I get the reference. I've seen the documentary. They arrived in the middle of the night. Those trucks, those Mayflower trucks.
There's actually a pretty fascinating 4-part podcast series put out by the Colts about that whole situation, how they almost landed in Arizona and all these different things. So, but yeah.
But if it's about the Colts, I don't feel like they're going to be too tough on themselves, you know?
No.
They're going to be pretty kind to Irsay. His dad was one of the most hated guys in the history of the NFL. Oh, man. And I talked to him one time. Talked to Mr. Irsay. Yeah.
He straight up traded the team. Rams for Colts. Swap. Never been done before. Never since.
Yeah. Colts were, well, now Irsay, hold on, I'm trying to think. Who was the old Browns owner, like way back in the day? I'm trying to remember the story. I talked to not Mr. Brown. Who am I thinking of that would have been? I was thinking of the story I did one time. It was a fascinating story to work on. And it was when the Kennedy assassination happened, and the Cowboys had to go play in Cleveland.
Art Modell?
Okay, I'm sorry. Irsay was hated, but in my mind, I was thinking about Modell for a second. So I talked to Art Modell, the old, obviously when he was still alive. And the interesting thing about that story is, everybody, Kev, from Dallas was just hated after the Kennedy assassination. And it was almost like it was Dallas's fault. And this lasted for decades. And honestly, the Cowboys being so great, and then the TV show Dallas in the 80s helped Dallas, honestly, get their minds off of the fact that Kennedy was assassinated here. But when the Cowboys went to play that game the Sunday after the assassination, so the assassination happens on November 22nd, 21st or 22nd. Anyway, so it happens, and Cowboys got to go play in Cleveland, and they get there, and the bellboys and all the people at the hotel where they were staying wouldn't help them with their stuff. Like they couldn't get any help. Everybody was so angry at them. And Modell told me the story of like they had to put snipers up on top of the stadium because they feared so much that there could be so much backlash for that. And then they had huge security around the Cowboys ownership group, and that would have been Clint Murkison in his family. And I don't think he took his family with him to Cleveland that day. But that was it. And then there was one game years after that. I forget where they were when there had been a death threat to Tom Landry. This was separate of that. And Tom Landry, I think, coached in a bulletproof vest. And and I heard it later told that some players didn't want to go, like the quarterback. Maybe it sounds like Staubach because he's very funny. But I think Staubach tried not to go stand next to Coach Landry during the game because there had been death threats. And he didn't want to go stand next to Coach Landry. I think that's true the more I think about that. But anyway, something about the Irsay thing. Yeah. Modell is the one I talked to. Now, I was trying to think if I ever talked to Jim Irsay. I think I did. I some event or whatever. Interestingly, we didn't even talk about that, Kevin, all that Irsay stories that came out recently. Wow. Yeah. And honestly, it's just very sad because I think Jim Irsay, like a lot of addicts, really did a lot of good and was actually trying to raise awareness. But unfortunately, even while he was trying to do that, he was going through, he was still going through addiction, and he was still using. It sounds like now what we know. And Kevin, that story of the end of his life at the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles, right there in LA. Wow, it's scary. Those doctors to the rich. Oh my gosh, and that is very, very scary. And even the doctor who signed his death certificate was the same doctor that was treating him.
Right.
And I think of Matthew Perry. I think of these people that were addicts, had gotten sober, and had become sort of positive stories. But then the problem with that is then some of them start thinking they can use like ketamine, which is prescribed by some doctors for depression. Anyway, bad deal. And it sounds like they were giving Irsay way too much of that stuff.
Right. You know who knows the entire story?
Who's that?
It's got to be Chris Ballard, and that's why he still has a job. He's hanging it over the Irsays forever. That's my only explanation why he would still have his job.
Conspiracy theory, Kevin, comes to play. We need to have a segment where we just roll. That needs to be like a little song, and then it comes across the screen, and we'll have Kevin's conspiracy.
Before the Super Bowl, we do need to have a Kevin's conspiracies on the Super Bowl and the logos and all of that. There's a new one this year. I don't know if you know.
Okay,
we'll get to it.
That one was a little bit much for me, but you have now we have to get your conspiracies. I love your conspiracies, but you were beating up still on Belichick for something that wasn't accurate recently.
That's true.
we had to clean that up.
It's not a conspiracy if there isn't some element of truth and non-truth involved.
Well, that one was shot down and documented. That was sadly a writer got that one wrong, and he got it wrong in a huge way. And I was at that Super Bowl. That would have been Patriots 2003, 2003, man. Woo! That was rough. He a swing and a miss. Could have been in 2004. I got to think about it. The Patriots were in so many of them. One of those. 2000. Anyway, all right, Kev, we've done it again. I think we've gone past our allotted time. Oh my gosh. It's so sad. Rogue once again will be charged extra because we have exceeded our 1 to 3 program. It is the Mosley Show. We do it every day. We bring you the best guest. Kevin, that was a while ago. That was we had Scott Drew on today. We'll get all that out, and we'll make sure we get it out to everybody. And really good stuff from Scott today. We will see you tomorrow. And let's see, we've got Cowboys talk, Senior Bowl talk, and we may go to the Super Bowl tomorrow. Lots of stuff to come tomorrow on the program. Everybody have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we were hoping Coach Collin would bring that championship mindset to do whatever she has to do to take our workplace culture to the next level.
Well, these donuts are pretty good.
Guys, how we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Craig! What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You have to dunk it.
So far, I think our employees are really enjoying it.
Not everything's a basketball thing.
Did you say something, Craig?
No, ma'am.
That's what I thought.
Dude, I think she likes you.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor women's basketball.
Everybody at Ecolife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops. Made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NordVPN.com.